Hi, my name is Kaushal Shah, and I'm a CEO and founder of eVitalRx. It's completely pharmacy management software, um, completely cloud-based as well. And we've been serving Indian pharmacies for last 4 years. And while I did a really long demo, really comprehensive demo of a product, eVitalRx, that is a pharmacy management software, about a month ago in English with one of my colleagues. Today, I'm here with another colleague of mine, Hamid. We are going to talk about how eVitalRx has been adopting AI to help pharmacies to provide better help to run their pharmacies, grow their pharmacies, run their operations, whether it's a small pharmacy, whether it's a large pharmacy, whether it's a multiple locations, warehouse management, so on and so forth. So today I won't be focusing on a lot of core features that you have already learned about in other video. We are going to focus on more advanced topics, such as something what we call SahaAI, that is ends with AI, which is very self-evident that it requires a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning that we have been using to help you run pharmacies better. There will be more advanced developments in that segment as well going forward over the next year or two. But today I want to give you some glimpse of something that you may or may not know about, and something maybe you can utilize in your pharmacy workflow. Couple of things before we get started. We started SahaAI about a year ago. We used to sell that as a add-on, and now it's become a part of the core product offering that is in the injection plan, what we call, and anything higher than that. I think it's a very powerful tool, especially when it comes to CRM, when it comes to procurement management and things like that. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of things that we have developed. Please forgive me if I have to pause in between, and there is some glitches here and there, but I'll do my best to make it as smooth as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As you can see, this is the typical screen that you see the dashboard, but today we are going to talk about something in SAI only, right? And if you go to configurations, before we get started, what I want to mention is that, basically this is covered into a couple of parts. The first one and the most important one is autopilot purchase system, APPS. What this system allows you is to do a lot of purchasing decisions that you have to do manually on a daily basis. It actually takes care of those things on a lot of AI and intelligence based system. And one of the most important questions that before we even get started is that which products to carry and what quantities to carry in that system, right? And a lot of these things are done either manually, or you guys have some ad hoc system to create a min-max of those things. And the problem is that those min-max and everything changes. The products changes. Product has cycles of seasonality maybe, or product come into flavor. In the market, there's a demand for them, then there is no demand. And anything that you use static, that is, it stays where it is, kind of doesn't help you, right? And anything you want to change manually but dynamically, matlab, every week or so, it is extremely hard for you to do that, right? Because any pharmacy, a typical pharmacy, could carry up to 10,000 SKUs, and it's just impossible to do all those things on your own. So that's why we developed the system. The system is very smart. It looks at these numbers every week, and it sort of recalibrates, rethink everything, recalculate everything, and based on your risk tolerance, right? That can actually suggest you levels based on the min-max. That ultimately does set up the min-max. It just does that min-max settings very, very smartly. And we're going to look at all those things real soon. Um, Depending upon what your requirements are, depending upon how much risk you want to take, how much inventory do you want to carry, you can adjust all of those things, which I will show you. Then there is the second system, which is the PO system. Sorry, there is the second system, which is a distributor selection. Once you decide these are the products that we want to buy, the question becomes where to buy it from, right? Over there, up until now, there were a lot of simple rules. Like, for example, whoever gave me a good margin in the past, just give it to me that. Whoever gave me whoever I bought it from last time, just give me that. And I was never satisfied with that, right? Because what if the guy give me a better margin, but I don't have any credit notes left with them, and there is another distributor that is just slightly lower margin that they are giving me, but at the same time, I have a lot of credit notes setting with them. So how do you trade off those things? So we're going to talk about that as well. And most importantly, today I want to actually introduce a new concept, which I don't think we have talked publicly about much, is how do you go outside your experience? So let's say I've dealt with only 50 distributors so far. Well, there are 5,000 distributors out there. Okay. How do I know that I would like to start a relationship with another distributor? Today, we are going to talk about that as well. And then lastly, once you decide a product, once you decide a distributor, now it's about communicating your orders to distribute. Now, some of you might be using PharmaRx, some of you might be waiting for the salespeople to come in, some of you might be calling them and then all this stuff. All of that is good, but we do recommend that you create a PO, a purchase order. That is something you actually communicated to them. You do transmit that electronically. And I'll tell you why the POs are important and things like that, because there is a lot of accountability from both your team as well as the distributor side can come into play if you use the PO system. So we're going to talk about all those things. And once the purchase comes in, then everything is cool. You already know about it. There are lots of advancement that as well. But we are going to keep it a bit separate with that. And then there is a couple of other things where SahaAI helps you, like monitoring your business, alerting about something anomaly, customer relationship as well, like automatically sending refill reminders and things like that. There's a lot of things going on there as well. We're going to talk about all of those things. So first and foremost, let's talk about autopilot purchase system. Let's start there and we'll go from there. So if you click on SahaAI and you go to autopilot, so first thing it says auto min max, right? This is the system that helps you select the min-max automatically. Now, this is more like a summary page. We're going to go to the preference page, which is where you set up all these things. I'm going to get rid of something that was already here. But let's start with this. So it allows you to calculate how many days of stock do you want to keep as a minimum and how many days of stock do you want to keep it as a maximum. Like I don't want to go above that. So SahaAI calculates the product sales on a daily basis. Don't worry about it if it goes into fraction or anything. It takes care of all of those things. And then it calculates based on, say, I want to carry 2 weeks of stock for that particular product at a minimum level. And let's say in this case, about 5 weeks of stock at a maximum level. I don't want to go above 5. I don't want to go below 2. If it goes below 2 weeks of work, 14 days, I will automatically trigger my short book and PO and so on and so forth. So basically, I will procure the products and I will procure it up to those 3 weeks, 5 minus 2, 3 weeks of orders. We used to have this weekly. Then we learned that daily might be a better control for you. So we actually switched to the whole system to the daily. It does look at the historical trends of the product, how well the products have been sold, and so on and so forth. If a product is discontinued in the market, it automatically stops the sale because the sales is going down and it has a new packaging. It picks up that new packaging as well, right? So it's a very, very smart system. You do have to allow them a time to sort of adapt. When I say time, I meant week or two. Most important update that I have for you, for those who may have already seen this screen, is we have also launched this based on category. So if you want to tune this thing separately, so some people would like to have, let's say, a product that is very regular, that is very fast moving. I don't really need to carry 5 weeks of work. I can just go, I don't know, 4 weeks and then maybe 1 week, whatever. It's very easy to procure, right? If I place an order, I get immediately within the next day. I don't need to carry for more than 7 days of stock, right? If the product is extremely hard to procure and very, you have to give an advance notice or you have to look for things in terms of, whatever it is, then you can change things accordingly. Like the distributors are not taking order more than once a week, so on and so forth. It could be any reason. So you can select any category you want from your categories. You can click on it. You can actually say, for surgical products, I would like to have this kind of risk requirement, right? Let's talk about for a minute that how do you decide these things? I think this is a very important aspect because a lot of pharmacy we've spoken to, they're a bit of confused about this. I think the part of the reason is, let's say you're in Mumbai, let's say you're in Bangalore, you're in Ahmedabad. These are the big markets that are very well developed. Distributors do serve really well. And I think that's why the carrying the stock for a long period of time does not make sense. So if I was in Ahmedabad, for example, or Bangalore or Mumbai for that matter, I probably go only 5 days to say maybe 21 days or 3 weeks or something like that. I don't really need to carry a stock more than 3 weeks worth, right? I'm not going to get hit with the sudden demand that, oh, I need a lot of products. My distributors are refilling my inventories as and when required. Let's say I'm in a very, very remote tier 2, tier 3 town, and it's very hard and painful process to procure medications from local distributors. In that case, you want to keep the stock for a bit period of time, so that you have time when the products fall below the certain category, then it's easier for you to sort of get back into the the right levels. So a lot of this is determined by, one, your risk capacity, how sensitive you are to the bounce. Some people are, they don't care about the bounce. If bounce happens, happens, but we don't want to carry enough inventory. We don't want to invest too much in an inventory. There are pharmacies that we have, platform that we have learned about or we have relationship with. They want to actually overspend money into inventory, but they are absolutely intolerant with bounce. What that means is, if the bounce occurs, they just don't like it. And if you want to reduce the bounce, it's inevitable that you will have to carry a decent inventory across the products, right? This is a very critical aspect. People like to believe that, oh, I just want to reduce my inventory. Well, if you reduce your inventory, your bounce will increase. I give always my team, when in the time of training, we always give this example that, imagine I carry zero products in my stock. My inventory turnover is awesome, right? My inventory turnover is unbelievable, but my bounce is through the roof, because if I don't have products, and not everybody's going to wait for it. As opposed to the other one, let's say hypothetically, because this is impossible in pharma's business, I carry each and every product out there in India and I stock them. I might be carrying like 10 crore, 20 crore rupees worth of stock. And guess what I'm getting out of it? No bounce, zero bounce, but my inventory turnover is going to look horrible, right? So the idea is somewhere in between, and it's all individuals' preferences, how tolerant you are with bounce, and how much are you willing or able to put your money into investment into the stocks. Couple of other things we also do. If you don't feel comfortable allowing SahaAI to give all the authority for all the items, you can actually set up some sort of a filtering criteria that SahaAI should not make decisions more than products that are more than 1,500 rupees MRP. In that case, I will basically say, out of 126 items you have, 123 items, I'll take care of it. 3 items will have to be managed manually. Of course, makes sense. If you reduce this, items will increase, right? This is a dummy account, so don't take this seriously. But this is how it works. Once you save, and it says right here, the process will run each and every week, and the min-max will be adjusted accordingly every week. So every week, it gets a new data of the sales. The old data basically gets discarded, and then it recalculates everything. If the new products are coming in, it will actually recalculate. And that is what I meant. Let's say size looking at, let's say, 8 weeks, for example, in terms of calculations. A new week passed by, ninth week. The first week is discarded. Between second week and ninth week, now another 8 weeks is going to recalculate everything. Now you got this new week sales data, and the one is gone. It basically changes. So after like 8 weeks, you have a whole set of new sales data, right? The old data is all gone. Completely new min-max, completely. Now, if the product is changing its behavior, then only min-max is correct. If product has a very, very, very consistent sell patterns across these 16 weeks, the min-max are going to be probably same, right? So these are all important criteria. I think you should look into it. Even the packaging changes, we take care of it, because in short book, if the purchase comes back with a new packaging, we actually take care of that in terms of clearing short book and things like that. That is more like a short book clearing or purchase mechanism that we get up separately. So this is what it does. It does give you a summary that there are products that we suggested min-max of 47 items that we suggest min-max. There are 88 items that are not excluded. Now, what is exclusion? Let's talk about that for a second. If SahaAI does not have enough data points for that particular item, then it just simply exclude that from the calculation, and you'll have to do this manually. Let's say a product only sold once in the whole 8 weeks, 2 months of data. There's not enough data point for me to suggest or SahaAI to suggest what it should be. That's one. The second is, SahaAI is also very smart that, let's say a product is being sold in 1 or 2 strips all the time, and suddenly you have an NRI customer or a corporate customer or whatever it is, and they place it order over 20 strips, right? Because they're going somewhere or they want to buy for the group or whatever it is. In that case, SahaAI actually gets rid of that 20 strips transaction to calculate the normal behavior, right? So it won't get affected by outliers, right? If you have any unusual quantity that is being sold, it's not going to be like next week, it's like, okay, fine, we'll buy like 20 strips now. No, SahaAI is very smart about that as well. Once you click on it, it will show you the whole list as well. I think all of them are already approved, so it's not going to show you here, or maybe give me 1 second. Yeah, I think they're all approved already, so that's why it's not showing you anything here. But then excluded, it's here, excluded. These are the products that it has not done anything about. And it actually does tell you that, look, some products are locked. If you manually say that I want to take care of this particular product, you can do that. If the product does not have enough order frequency, not enough transaction, again, this is, you see these numbers because it's a dummy account. There's not really transactions going on. So order frequencies, they basically say we can't do much about it. Here you can do manually update of this min-max and then audit to shortbook if you would like to. So basically this is kind of your job. So the way we think about SahaAI development overall is SahaAI helps you with like 80% of your work, not 100%. SahaAI is more like your manager, not an owner, right? And that's what it does for you. So this, once you calculate min-max, it's very easy. I mean, it's very obvious. Once a min-max, it works just like any other min-max, that every time the minimum is breached. For those who are more sophisticated, we might be calling ISQ and ROL, reordering levels, which is nothing but a minimum. Once it falls below it, it triggers the product to go to short book, and it basically goes back to ISQ minus the next new stock, min-max minus the next new stock. So then in that case, that's the quantity that is being put in to short book. Which brings me to another point. Once the product goes to short book, well, what distributor does it go to, right? And that's, let's go back to our SahaAI configuration page. So this is where we come, distributor selection. Product is added, product is quantified. We know this is what we want to get. Whatever overrides you have, you can do it manually. Whatever we did automatically, it's taken care of. This is actually one of my favorite page, but I think it's very underutilized. I think a lot of us just jump the gun and says, okay, I want to buy it from the distributor that provides me the best margin. Well, like I said, what about credit notes? What about its ratings? Are they providing a good service? Are they providing batch accurately? Are they taking the returns? Are they delivering fast? Are they providing CSV file? All those other things are taken care in ratings, and we are actually working on bringing you more fine tuning of algorithm here as well, so that you could actually have those kind of feedback into it. So my point is, margin is not the only thing. You are very comfortable with margin because that is what you think, or that is what your old software might have provided or anything. I think the humans make decisions much better. I think humans take into consideration a lot more things. There's a reason why there are distributors who provide 8% CD, and there are reasons the same products is being sold by the distributor with 3% credit. Sorry, CD. Why? Because 3% might be providing a better service. They might be resolving your credit notes very fast. They might be resolving that. They might have a very accurate batch inventory. They might be providing the CSV. They might be providing fast delivery. They might be providing credit, right? All those things has to be taken into consideration. And I think most of your old software just say, whatever I bought it from last, just give it to me. And but frankly, that is what we did. And that's why we, a lot of our customers are still doing it. But I think this is a much better way. How does this work? It's simple. Say, now I understand everybody values this different aspect differently. So that is why there's a weighting system. You can say, so basically, if I go to this distributor selection page, and if I say, okay, I only value margin a little bit, but I do value my credit note outstanding quite a bit. And then I also do, let's say, somewhat for distributor settings. In that case, the example shows you that it actually changes the distributor selection, right? So this is how you can actually tweak your algorithm, what you value to be selected distributor. And if there is a conflict, it will actually go through this kind of algorithm settings to select the right distributor. So, spend some time with our team member. They will help you out to select the right distributor out of this. Now, one thing that I'm really excited to show you is like, this is usually all these things that so far I've seen, in my experience, is like whatever distributor you have dealt with in the past. Now, what if there are better distributors out there, whether it's for margin, whether it's for ratings, whether it's for delivery time, anything? How are you going to explore that, right? And that is what we come up with this something called segment. And I will do this, no pun intended, but I'll do the segment on a segment separately. That is going to go in more detail. But now we actually created this different segments of distributor that you can actually figure out from our database. So let's say you have dealt with 50 distributors so far. In eVital database, there's 77,000 distributors, right? Based on that, based on certain criteria, now you also know very well that if you're in Ahmedabad or Gujarat or wherever, you're not going to deal with distributors from, say, Maharashtra, right? So that's irrelevant for you, or so vice versa. So you can actually define your universe, your segment, that this is the segment I'm going to explore. I'm okay with exploring. For example, let's say you might have a requirement that distributor must provide a CSV, otherwise I don't want to do business with them. Based on that, you can actually create a segment, and that segment will basically expose yourself to a different new distributors that you can actually deal with. I'll show you the screen later on that how to do it and so on and so forth. Once you select this save preferences, basically when you go back to short book, all the products that are being put in the short book by MinMax will automatically starts having a distributor, right? This is all dummy data, but let me see if I have the distributor, blank distributor. No, I want only, oh, there it is. So there we have all the distributors that are already selected by SahaAI. And in that case, you can actually, sorry, I read here. You can actually generate a PO and things like that. So I'll talk about those things in a minute. But here, once the product is set here, it will automatically. Now, let's say for whatever reason, that product is extremely hard to find and there's absolutely we don't even have knowledge of where the products are sitting. We'll simply keep it blank. So that's why there's just some blanks up here. You can actually have a filter here and say, I just want to see the blank distributor, and I can sort of, do that. You can also do that in graphically. If there are distributors are not selected, if you just click on that, it will actually show you the filtered list of all the products that are blank sitting in that short book right now. There it is. So, anything you want to select a distributor on, you can sort of tweak and play around with your own configurations and so on and so forth. Last thing, once you selected a distributor, now it's all about creating a PO. There are two ways to go about this. Let's say you are running a multiple locations pharmacy and like a chain pharmacy, and all your branch that is out there are only required to buy medicines or products from your warehouse, your centralized purchase. In that case, you can actually set up an auto PO, and then you can actually set up the timing for a weekly, and you will receive as a HO, you will receive as a warehouse, you will receive a PO every single morning based on those min-max from whatever time you have set up here. So this, you don't even have to do anything. You can just simply set this up, and every morning, 7 a.m., all the branches will have triggered a min-max already. They will create a PO. And this is basically simple because there's not even a distributor selection. Why? Because it's all warehouse only, right? It's all centralized purchase only. And in the history of their warehouses will also be only their warehouses. So, sorry, in the history of their purchases, there will also be only warehousing. So this won't be an easy one. Now, for pharmacies that are procuring from distributors, which are most of them, of course. Not everybody's procuring from warehouse. This is critical because you can also do an automatic PO to your distributors. However, you must trust SahaAI for a lot of those things, but we allow you to do those things if you would like to do that. You can set up these preferences here. When do you want to send a PO to those distributors? Now, one of the feedback we received is that every distributor has a quirkiness that when they want to receive a PO, especially if you are in FMCG, they don't want to receive PO every day. They only want to receive PO certain days and certain time and so on and so forth. So while this is a preference for general, we actually also updated our software saying that at a distributor level now, you can go to, say, for example, Adinath distributor, and I can actually also go to more auto PO timing, and you can actually set up a PO timing for Adinath distributor. If it takes more than once a day, you can actually add a second slot as well. If it's just one day, you can do it. If they are, for whatever reason, they are not working on Thursday, you can get it. If they are start working on Thursday because the competition is taking a shape, and Saturday, then you do it. There's also a very, very customizable PO expiry portion where a distributor level, you can actually expire their PO accordingly. Some people would like to say, if this distributor does not return my medications within a day, I won't expire. If for this particular distributor, I will give 7 days, whatever it is. Basically, long story short, we used to do this thing at a system level. Now we do this at a distributor level. When the auto PO is turned on, automatically the POs will be sent to those distributors. via email and WhatsApp. So make sure that WhatsApp numbers or emails are actually correctly configured. Let's say in the case that you are not sending POs automatically, however, the system is generating POs. So I'll show you what it means by that. You go to Shortbook and you go to the right side and then you click on Auto PO. So it will only grab all the pending items that are not conveyed to the distributor yet. And there are some filters that are applied, whatever it is. Total items that will be covered is only one because there's not really left anything. But let's say I say confirm, it will also show you how many POs will be created, how many items are covered, and how many items are ignored. The reason it's being ignored because there are no distributors in that list as of now. Once I generate the PO will be generated. Again, PO is simply generated. It's not transmitted to the distributor. So as you can see here, PO is generated, but it's not being communicated to the distributor yet. So how do you do that if you are not doing auto PO? You can simply go to PO and then you can start sending them from here on. I want to pause here and explain one thing very, very clearly. Let's say you like Auto Min-Max. You like this distributor selection. You created all these POs. Ultimately, your distributor is not cooperating and is not like, oh, I don't want emails, I don't want WhatsApp, I want you to call me, or I want you to do on PharmaRec, or whatever it is, or my salesman will come and all. My opinion is the following. You can transmit that PO however you want it, no problem with that. However, in one word, I would say when you communicate with them or when you place an order on PharmaRec or when you communicate to the sales guy of their distributor, you do go ahead and put this PO and click on this email or WhatsApp, doesn't matter which one. Why? Why? Because it marks two things into our software. One, that you have actually communicated this particular PO to say Alpha Medical or Adinath distributor at that time period. That is one. Two, we also mark that in the PO, these are the items that have been covered. Why this is important? The reason it's important is when the purchase comes back, we actually compare against the PO. We calculate their turnaround time. We also calculate their bounce. We also calculate their dump. So if they have sent anything that more than what you asked for, they will count that as a problem. If they did not send something that you asked for, we will also count that. And most importantly, the TET. You communicated at 12 p.m., the purchase came or the purchase draft came at 4 p.m., say. So we calculate all of these things and this get back fed into the loop of selecting a distributor. Remember, we talked about selection of distributor and rating and everything. That is what we put factor. So a lot of people, what they do is like they create the PO, they do go through all this thing and then don't really click on this one little button here. And they're like, oh, but I called the guy, I just told him what I wanted, and that's about it. Yeah, but system does not know that, right? eVitalRx system does not know that. So if you just click on this one button, it will help a lot because that way we can actually take care of when the purchase comes back, right? Having said all of that, we have launched a distributor software finally after a lot of demand in the market. So if you have distributors that are willing and interested into migrating to a better software, please let us know. My colleague Chintan Patel or Rushabh Shah or Bhargav Rohit can help you. I can put the number there into the description. Please reach out to them. They'll be more than happy to talk to your distributor. The reason it's important is if your distributor is also on the same platform, you do not even have to do this. You can just create a PO and then click on the PO and everything will be transmitted automatically. And more importantly, if anything is not in stock over there, we will also flag you immediately saying they don't have this stock. Do you want to procure from something else? So as the more distributors join, the whole ecosystem will get better and better. But until then, you can still send this WhatsApp or so it says once you click on WhatsApp, it will mark as order of. All of those things are fine. You can send that PO through email or WhatsApp. Doesn't actually matter. But once it's marked as an order, so that you basically can actually start when the process comes back as a purchase, you can actually start reviewing that purchase. So this completes the whole cycle, and this way you can actually create the completely start from scratch, like calculate the items, select the distributors, create the POs, communicate the POs, and when the purchase comes back, you will basically attach a PO as well here. If you have any pending PO that are in distributor, Adinath distributor, I don't know if there is anything out there or not. Oh, there it is. So the PO button will, oh, there is not anything. So if I had placed an order of PO, automatically it will also attach. So even though you can do this manually, system is smart enough that if you actually have any ordered POs, it will also attach automatically to the purchase invoice. So all these things are pretty straightforward. My take home message is, no matter how you communicate to your distributors, please do take 1 minute to just click button of sending a PO, right? One last thing, my colleague is here, is guiding me on a lot of things, and I want to make sure that I cover all the bases. One of the things we've done in SahaAI, which also I think is very underrated in my opinion, is you will see some dots on the right side of the purchase listing, right? What are these dots? If you hover, it says very poor. If you hover, it says very good. What does it mean? Let's open this very good one. There's an item here, Telma D tablet, and there's a discounted price is 0. However, the expiry is really far into the future, which is, of course, this is all dummy data. But to prove our point, it basically says, look, this product that you received from the distributor, it's very well. We basically judge on those two things. One is how far is the expiry? That is one. And two, how much of a discount that they have given you compared to the whole universe out there. So all the Telma D tablet that is being purchased right now, compared to that, are you receiving the right expiry? Are you receiving a proper margin? If the answer is no, it will show you. Let me see. I can get something red. So let's try. I don't know. I want to pick one with the item that is more. But anyways, I'm sure this dummy account is stupid. Um, there it is. 0% discount. Expiry is also very short, less than a year. What does it tell you? Very poor. We don't like it. And this is very smart because let's say there is an ophthalmic drops, right? Eye drops. Now, eye drops usually have less expiration. This is not looking at 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, something like that. This is looking at this particular product that is being purchased in the whole ecosystem. What does it look like? This is a very, very powerful feature. One thing you will realize is that I don't have dots everywhere. Why? Because there is not enough data points to we have in order for us to tell you whether it's truly good or not. One last thing is like, when you go to a distributor level, why remember what I was saying about like creating POs and things? So why should we do that? Like, let's take a look at a couple of examples. Let's say to Ruby Pharma will go. You will also see this kind of performance analysis, what kind of margin they provide you, what kind of turnaround time, what kind of bounce data or dump data or things like that. So you can also judge those things if you are actually just hitting that button of PO, because we don't know what you actually order versus what you actually receive. Some of you might have paid attention to the staff information. This is a little bit of about supply. I don't want to go in detail, but now because we have a supplier software as well, distributor software as well, you can actually allow them or not allow them to provide a view to your purchase return, purchase order, PO. You can also show them payment ledger. So if I click on this, basically I'm allowing the staff of Dhruvi Pharma, whatever my staff contact lead person is, allowing them to see my purchase return or see my purchase order. That is only for them, right? Not where else I'm procuring from. So it's we're very clear about those things. If I want to change certain, let's say I don't want them to be looking at some of the things, I can just say update and boom, they can. So of course you'll have to put a pin here. But then they won't be able to see anything. So it's a very powerful thing. I'm going to leave that up to supplier module, but very, very powerful stuff here. So anyway, so this is the scoring system, the TET analysis and bounce and dump analysis and everything I went through. Complete soup to nuts auto purchase system. I personally feel there is a lot more work to be done, and we will be keep doing it for those who've known us for a long time, for those who have trusted us with a long time. Please be sure that we'll be completely, each and every day we come to work and we make sure that how do we improve these things. Next session, we're going to look at something what we have been launching, what we have launched about a year ago, and it's been extremely popular, what we call eNfinity reports and alerts. It's all about creating your own reports. Let your creativity go loose. You don't have to wait up for us to create a new report. You can actually even set alerts, which is my more important, my own conviction that more than reports, I think what you need is alerts. There are systems that you can create, like if somebody's forgot to attach a prescription image for some sensitive product, it will actually trigger you within 1 minute. right? So things like that, it's very powerful. We're going to talk about it. It's also part of SahaAI. I think for non-SahaAI user, we allow you to create 3 or 5 reports or something like that. And then after that, you'll have to upgrade to SahaAI. Lastly, we'll also talk about CRM in a minute later on. CRM hit a roadblock, very frankly, because of the IVR regulation that came crashing down from the Indian government. Unfortunately, we don't have much of a workaround of that. We do provide a lot of automation in WhatsApp and automatic refill reminder. We'll see, look at all of those things really soon. So, hope this was helpful. And let us know if you have any questions. Today, I want to continue with our previous discussion regarding how you can use eVitalRx if you're running multiple stores, if you want to run a store that relies on AI and machine learning, telling you a couple of things that we are going to go through, that what you should be paying attention in your store, in your pharmacy. So what I have here is basically I've set the screen right now, and I'm going to start with something different. This is so when you go to SahaAI, you can go to configuration, and there's something called monitoring charts. I'll explain you what I mean by what we mean by that. So a lot of these things, I have a theory that a lot of times, most of the things that we are very comfortable with is basically some sort of report and then Excel, and then you have to learn Excel for those things. Our idea has been day one that you should not need to know Excel for those things. It should be either software should be very, very graphically appealing, and then you can just, hover on the chart and look at those numbers, or it should be more alert based, where software should alert you on certain things. So first we'll look at the graphical portion, and then we'll look at the alert portion as well. So what we have is we have a couple of charts here. Unfortunately, I don't have a real data. Of course, it's a dummy account, it's a dummy data, but I'm going to do my best to demonstrate what we have here. If we go to here, you can select certain categories that you want, and then based on that, you can actually get all the data filled up here as well. So let's say apply, and then you can see this particular chart. These are weekly sales, basically. Oops, sorry, weekly sales here. And then you can hover on those things category wise. It can show you the numbers as well. I apologize for the formatting. We'll be fixing that very soon. So you can see 28th January to 26th January, Ayurvedic was sold 4,465 rupees. And whereas drugs was about 10,000 rupees. And then you can hover on the other thing. As I said, don't look at the charts. It's a dummy account. So of course it's a dummy numbers. What awesome thing that we have now is if you are running a multiple pharmacies, you can actually select all or some of the pharmacies, and you can also see the same number applicable to across all the stores collectively. So what will pop up here is the sales collectively across all the stores combined. Along with it, if you want to filter through a particular branches, say these are the only branches I'm curious about, you can also of course do that from here. But now you have more data. You can look around across the categories, across the things. If the products are not categorized, it will also show you uncategorized. You can also look at look or select or unselect certain products, right? And it will start showing you other things as well. One cool thing, this is a regular, as in like all the summation, but sometimes what you want to really see is what is the kind of proportion each category is contributing for your revenue, because it will give you an idea that if I'm making 1 lakh rupees, is my proportion of a generics or proportion of my OTC products are increasing over time, decreasing over time, surgical is increasing over time. Now, surgical, of course, will have less of a revenue compared to, say, ethical brands. But is it increasing? Is it decreasing? So when you have such a small thing like this, it's very hard to see what it is doing over the time. So for that, what we have is something called regular, which is what you see by default. You can also see normalize. And once you apply to that, it will show you the proportion of that particular category during that week of the total revenue. So as you can see, for example, drug used to have 80% proportion in last week, whereas this week we have only 37%. And apparently generic really bumped up from 29% from only 1%, right? So you can see the kind of trend. Now, of course, this is dummy data. That's why you see a lot of fluctuation like this. In your real data, you won't have fluctuation like this. One thing we are working on, we are going to get you more time series, not 4 weeks. You can go up to like 16 weeks or something like that, 12 weeks or something like that. So you can have clear trend. You can also deselect something from right here as well. Now, of course, that won't applicable to normalize anymore. It will go switch back to regular actually. So you can play around here, certain categories and things like that. There's also a difference one where you can actually see that what categories have gained or lost their revenue over week. So if I want to see the difference of week over week, I can also look at that as well. I think these are some of the really powerful charts. We also used AI to kind of give you an analysis what AI found. Something weird in here, you can also look at that. There are some definitions to help you out. There's some insights to help you out as well. Please go through it. Unfortunately, we don't have real data. You guys have real data, so you go through it. If you do not understand what the data means to you in your context, feel free to reach out to our team. They'll be more than happy to explain what it means. Second one will go to the inventory investment. So of course, the first thing is sales. The second one is inventory. How much money I have invested into that inventory to produce those sales, right? So you can see that here also you can normalize, and you can see that of course drug is taking up 70% of my investment. However, I used to store a lot more OTC. Now I don't store that much OTC anymore. These are all percentages. Again, one more time, this is a dummy account. So don't think this is the kind of fluctuation you will see. This is just for the demonstration purpose. This is about how much inventory do I have invested in your stock right now, which what we're also going to bring is if you want to separate out sellable, non-sellable, that is expired or not expired. And I'll talk about expiry in a very, very soon as well. So will also give you an option here. You can say, okay, remove the expired ones, include the expired ones, so and so forth, or something like that. So we'll keep working on these charts, going forward. Again, one more time, you can go to branches and you can deselect or select certain branches as per your need. The third chart is my favorite. Unfortunately, we don't have good data here, but I'm going to try to show something that will prove the point. So I'm going to go ahead and select this particular pharmacy called Needham Pharmacy. In this case, you see a trend here, sorry, my bad. And I can just go to, let's say, drug, right? And I'm going to apply that and see if I can help. Yeah, there it is. So here you can actually see a chart that shows me inventory turnover. How many days do I take? So on the right side, on the left side, it says turnover days. How many days am I really rolling over my inventory? You can also see that at a category level. So if the drug is taking too long to roll over, what that means is that your inventory into the drug category is too much compared to its sales, right? Uh, so you could also look at this. This is actually one of my favorite one. If you are a great pharmacy, if you're running it, your pharmacy really well, it's somewhere between 25 to 40 days of inventory. That's kind of usually industry standards. If you're above 40, 50 even, it means that you have invested too much money and there's not much of a sales that is going on. If you are less than that, while it is okay, you can pat yourself on the back and say, this is great running, I'm running a great business, but you might be getting a lot of bounce of your customer. So it's very easy. Think about it in an extreme way, right? If I don't carry any inventory, my inventory turnover is like 1 day or 0 day or something like that. But in that case, if I don't carry any inventory, guess what? I'm going to have a lot of bounce. Now, there are chemists who does really great business and their inventory turnover are not that great. But what they strive for is reduction in bounce. They do not want to lose any customers, go empty-handed from their stores. Usually those stores see more than 40, 50 days of inventory because you have to stock more items in order to reduce the bounce. So the real answer is that it depends on your situation, it depends on the capital that you have, it depends on the priorities that you might have, and you can actually look at that. This is one of my favorite chart. Please take usage of it. Again, if you don't understand what it means, feel free to talk to my team or even reach out to me at kaushal.evital.in. I'll be more than happy to explain what it means for your store. You'll have to share your screen so I can look at your number and I can sort of walk you through it. Not lastly, there's something called let me do the return on investment. So now that we decided that, look, my surgical item inventory is slow to move, my drug inventories item is fast to move, and you might argue that yes, Kaushal, that's true, but sales is not the only picture. What if I am making a lot more margin in surgical items, but I'm not making that much margin in my drug items? And that's why we have the last chart, which is called return on investment. Here, you will see two rings. The outer one shows you what profit you made during that period, 4 weeks in this case, versus what was the investment amount that you had. And the corresponding color here also shows you. So drug, I made 17,000 rupees on the investment of 2.663 lakhs. And the smaller ring, it shows it's only 6.65% margin. So you kind of have to balance that, right? You may have slow inventory moving, but if you have a good margin, which in this case, surgical does show you 105% margin. So you kind of want to balance that out. So these are a lot of great charts just to give you an idea of what's going on in your business rather than looking at your spreadsheets and trying to understand that. We all understand those things from experience, but I learned one thing, that if you look at good charts, every now and then something surprising comes up. Lastly, expiry timelines. This is very obvious. This is very simple. If I want to look at 8 months of expiry over the next few months, I can show my drug is about 23,000 worth rupees of expiry coming up. And then in 3 months from now, it's 66,000. So I can see all my expiries are sort of piled up here. That should make me worried. There are also, again, some AI-driven analysis on the right side. You can sort of walk you through. But yeah, this is mostly give you idea of where the expiries are across the categories, across the month. So, take advantage of these charts. I think if you have a great idea for a chart, let me know. We'll be more than happy to do something along that as well. Lastly, sorry, not lastly, moving on. I know some of you are thinking that, Kaushal, we still want to see the report because we are very used to see the report or very detailed or whatever it is. And I understand that. And for those who've been known for a long time, they know very well that I don't like particularly reports too much. So last year, as part of SahaAI, it's a part of AI, what we started doing is we started creating something we call eNfinity reports. We gave all the freedom of you building the report. So we'll together we'll create a simple report and then I can move on. So you can pick here what kind of reports you want, what kind of category of reports you are looking for: purchase report, sales report, item and ledger reports, or some other advanced reports. But we'll stick with the simple one: sales. And then as a sales return, B2B, B2C, sales, doesn't matter. So these are all the things that you can group by. I'll tell you what group by means. These are all the columns that you want to create a category of. And the summary is what you want to see as a data. We'll take some examples, so you will become very clear. Let's say I want to see daily my staff-wise sales, something simple. Or I want to see payment method by staff-wise. So, right, so I'm going to go look for payment method. And then I say staff-wise. So I would like to say staff. And what do I want to see? Well, I want to see the count, how many bills they made, right? So bill number as a count. I want to see what was the net sale amount, right? And some, maximum, minimum, average. Usually probably want some. You can change other things. If I want to get rid of certain data points from here, if I want to only include certain branch, I can also look at that as well. All your branches are available here as well. So as you can see, multiple locations should really use this. This will blow up your mind. I'm telling you, nothing in the market has ever done anything like this thing. You can sit here in one main location in HO and you can look any report you want, real time, not a problem. Anyways, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to start maybe, you know what, I don't need to put any particular inventory. And I want to show you a couple of other things as well. Payment method, staff wise, and then I will say this month. And once I click on show preview, boom, cash, owner, 26 bills, this is the amount. Credit, Seema ma'am, Karan, owner, myself, Jai Padmani, this many rupees. So you can see all the payment method. Now, suddenly I decided, no, this is not what I want. I actually wanted staff-wise and then payment mode. Like I want to review each and every staff activity. All I have to do is I can grab this thing, I can move this here, and there it is. I can click on show preview again. Boom. Jai Padmani, credit only that. Owner has done a lot of various transactions, as of course. Seema has done only one credit, one bill, 252 rupees, right? So you can play around this thing as much as you want. There are lots of options. If you do not feel that what you're looking for, let's say I want to add profit to this, right? How much money I made, not only sales amount, but how much money I made in those amounts. There it is, 41 rupees, only 1 rupee profit. 76,000 rupees, 31,000 rupees. You can fool around as much as you want. You can sort of look at, if you don't like this taking too much space, you can click on it. It will hide all those things or bring it back. Really cool feature. We've been working on this for 1 year now. We just continuously keep updating. There are still more updates coming in. You can do this really till the cows come home. So, anyways, you can save the bill. As you can see, something cool here. It actually named the report itself. So this is AI we are using based on the columns that you selected, payment method and staff sales analysis. We actually put a name automatically. If you don't like it, you can write whatever you want. Doesn't actually matter. Once you save it, it will actually give you something else as well. Before we move on, I want to spend a minute. So few minutes ago, we talked about segments, creating segment of patients, creating segment of distributors, creating segment of medicines. So let's say I have created a segment of patients that only has some chronic issues. And those are the only patients that I want to have this applicable to. All I should go and do the filter, and I can go and click on the patient segment, select the patient segment, and be done with it. Let's say it's a purchase report. And in the purchase report, you only want to think about payment outstanding for the distributors that are not in my city, right? I'm just making up scenario right now, but you understand. You can actually select those segment, click on it, and it will only filter out those segments. So really cool stuff here. I don't think any other software has ever provided you all these kind of things. But here you can take an advantage of all of those things. Now, one last thing I want to mention. Let me go and rather create something else already. So let's see. Medicine expiry analysis. Hopefully this will no, not this one. Let me try something else. I want to try something that I can show you. Yeah, sure, why not? So we can do this. We can actually add let's see, lending price, and I want to sum them up as well. So these are all the products. I'm going to show preview. These are all the products that has expiry and certain batch quantity in my stock, and that has a lending price as well. Let's say I want to do two things. One, I want to get this report every week or every month. It doesn't matter actually. I can go to alert. I can go to click on it, and I can say I want to try this thing here. Sorry, my bad. I think there is some issue in the UI here. See if I can somehow. No, I can't do that. So, anyways, here there is a. Oh, it's only hourly and daily. Oh, because. Anyways, doesn't matter. Sorry. So you can actually set up a weekly alert from here. It will actually send you an email every week of that particular um, report automatically. So you don't really need to remember that I have to go to the store and I have to download this thing and whatnot. You don't have to do any of those things. It will actually send you directly. So you might have seen this thing where there's an email here. You can add any other email from your staff members here. You can add those email here, and they will receive the emails as well. But here's one more cool thing I want to show you. Let's say I don't want to know each and every detail here. What I would like to know is what is the item that has more than 500 rupees worth of expiry in a particular month. And I want to be alerted for that. I can just go here and I can add one condition. Condition could look like this. Let's say I want to add lending price, total lending price that is greater than 500 rupees, right? And I want to add one more condition, not everything. I want to have expiry that is equal to, let's say, 0625. If I submit this, this will run every day, and every day it will check whether do I have a product that has more than 500 rupees in expiry, and expiry is between is a June 25. If there is a product, it will actually alert me, right? You can actually run that kind of analysis every hour as well. That's why this alert frequencies that I think we have only hour and daily, because weekly is not really an alert. If you would like to change anything, you can go back to it. You can change this. There are even more advanced features here. Actually, you can do and or conditions and things like that. I don't want to get into those details right now, but you can do all of those things very, very easily. You can update the report when you feel you have figured it out, what you need to figure it out. So really extensive stuff here. Other thing, really cool thing. Let's say you don't want to create any of those reports, but you want to kind of know what other people are creating, right? So I have some most popular Infinity reports. This is all automatic. Of course, you are not going to be able to see their data. You are going to be able to see your data, but the formats that are designed are by somebody else. So I actually have not looked at this either. So there is apparently a lot of people would like to do this, which is a distributor invoice amount, and there is some date here fixed. I don't know why it's fixed. It should be a single date to give the time range. Doesn't matter. You can actually select from here, and these are all the reports. But now the format has been created by other chemists, and this is one of the most popular format apparently. However, the data, of course, responds to you. So now not only you don't really have to know how to create the reports. If you believe that other chemists are doing a great job at creating reports, you can also benefit from that. This has been the heart of eVitalRx software, that not everybody has to be a genius. This doesn't have to be your thing. Apparently, there is another report which is baby bill, doctors payment method, and what kind of business you are doing along with the doctors. Apparently, this is a very popular report again, and you can actually change that, and you can actually also save this, send an alert or whatever it is. So really powerful things here. I don't think anything else out there has been doing this thing in Infinity report. Like I said, you can also create the segment and filter out the segment for those things. So please take advantage of those things. uh, Lastly, we also have, in configurations of SahaAI, we also have alert emails. I know we created some alert emails, but we realized that some emails are so critical for a lot of people that we just give it to you in default alerts when you sign up for SahaAI. One of them is churn customer alert. Every month you will receive the report in your email, if the email is here, that are there for the customers that are not coming to your store anymore. They used to come often, very regular customer, not anymore. If you would like to add somebody's staff member's name, you can add them here. Margin change alert. Let's say distributor used to have some margin, not anymore, send it to you. Unusual sales return. Let's say you usually have 5 returns a day, and suddenly there is 8 returns yesterday or 9 returns yesterday. You will be alerted automatically along with the details. Unusual bill edit. You used to have 10% of the bills being edited. Now suddenly 30% bills are being edited. So again, you will get the report. Stock adjustment alert. Unclaimed purchase alert. Customer asked you to procure the product. You add it to the short book. You added the number. Customer did not show up after 2 days. We will alert you saying, hey, you received this item. I think you procured it for some particular customer. Can you please return it to the distributor so that you don't accrue that inventory unreasonably? So these are all the goods. And the last one is the recommendation lead. You will be receiving. This is about how much your staff is actually recommending products to the customer, saying if they would like to switch to the generic, if they would like to switch to something that is expiring early, things like that. So you also get a gist of that. Some of them are daily, some of them are weekly, some of them are monthly, depending upon what kind of frequency we feel appropriate for those kind of things. So these are all the alerts that you don't have to do anything. You just have to add your email or the relevant staff email, and you will start receiving and the appropriate frequency. Lastly, this is a very, very new thing. We're still working on a couple of things, but I wanted to talk because I'm doing this demo only once a year, if that, and sometimes I don't get a chance to do those things. So this is the scoring chart. And what we have decided, what you designed here is that all your stores, right, would have some charts like this. So actually, before I go there, I want to show you something else too. If you go to inventory page, there are some bubbles on the top. These bubbles are telling you to do something, right? And depending upon the color, is see the houses. So there are 4,000 items that does not even have location in my software. Now, this is a dummy account. Of course, you may not see this kind of number. Some items doesn't have category. Some items does not have valid price. I bet you. And if, by the way, if I click on it, guess what? It finds that product right away. So you don't have to do anything. 0 rupees stock. So somehow it's a price is 0. Look at this. So it's a invalid price. I don't know how it got in there. Items with missing min-max. If you are using min-max and certain items are not having min-max, it will show you. If you click on the right drawer, you will see the whole list. item with missing HSN code, which I think is very serious, unmapped items, the items that you have not mapped to eVital catalogs and you're not getting an, alternative suggestions and other things. So these are the things that you should be doing. Now, we launched this thing a while ago. We see some positive response from the customers that this is making their life easy rather than them thinking about what they should be working on. This is what they do. Now we went one more step ahead, depending upon now that we have launched Pillow. Now that we're doing a lot of things where you will start receiving orders from these third parties, whether it's insurance company, quick commerce companies, and things like that. One thing we learned is that certain stores are run very well, certain stores are not run very well, and when they're not very well run, what it means is like they have a lot of negative stocks, they have a lot of expired stock in their inventory. We cannot reliably be sending these third party orders to those pharmacies, right? So if an insurance company like Bajaj Finserv wants to send an order and your inventory is mismatched completely, well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of bounces. Like product nahi hai, I don't have that product. It's expired already. It's a different MMRP and things like that. So to avoid these issues, we decided to create a somewhat scoring chart, scoring number for you. Um, if you go to more and then you will see a scoring chart, you will be able to see this. And then there is a 61.8% overall score. You don't really care about what it means. They also show you whether you improved or not. This is the first week, it shows you this. Customer friendliness. How customer friendly your stories. It is based on, are you taking customers' phone number? Are you sending them reminder? Are you putting the short book reminders? Are you doing the home deliveries? Are you taking payments online? Are you using reconciliation online? Things like that. And based on certain algorithm, it says you're about average in terms of customer friendliness. Inventory efficiency. Are you doing proper billing? Are you purchasing and selling properly? Do you have a lot of negative expiries? Do you have items that are not having HSN, or do you have? So a lot of other different features go in there, and they decide what kind of efficiency do you have. 77% inventory efficiency. We are going to bring a couple of more things here. Compliance. Are you attaching prescription when the H1 schedule comes in? Are you putting customer's phone number if the TB products is being sold? Something like that. So a lot of those other things, or GST compliance, a lot of other those things will start coming in. You will see a couple of more things here as well. Um, and based on that, there is a composite score. There will also be a suggestions. Let's say you want to improve this course because you want to receive more orders. If you want to improve this course, what are you supposed to do? And we will suggest you based on what we think is right. If you have a suggestion, reach out to me, kaushal@evital.in, write an email to me saying, I think you should include this into your algorithm so that it can also help us. This is a very new thing. You may not even be able to see in your screen right now, but by the time this video goes to production, I think you will see this. Take an advantage of, explore this a little bit, play around with it. If you don't have proper numbers here, what you can also do, you can also, let's say this inventory said here that you should get rid of these negative sales item or expired items, and you actually went and clean up your inventory, and this number still shows you 77. Well, you can go and click on it to refresh that score. You can only do that once a day because we don't want to put too much load on a server, but you can do once a day. So if you make changes to your workflow, if you make changes to your software or stock, things will start reflecting here. And guess what? Once you do that, you will start having a higher score here, which will ultimately help you in getting more orders. So that's the strategy. It's going to be a lot of new things coming in next year, this year, which will hopefully will bring you a lot more business as well. And we truly feel that the pharmacies that we have on board with us, we owe them a duty to help them every way we can possibly do to serve their customers, to be very good at their business, and that's what we are here for. So hopefully this was a very helpful session for all of you. And if you have any suggestions, any feature request, any bug that you would like me to pay attention to, again, kaushal@evital.in. Write me an email. I'll make sure that we'll go through those emails and make sure that we can do whatever we can do to help you out. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.